Here's a great technique for animating a muzzle flash from a gun. I picked this up from Deuce Bennett a few years ago, and it saves a lot of time. So why don't we go ahead and dive right in. I'm going to move over to the camera view, and I'm going to add a point light. And let's call this muzzle flash. Okay, and let's go ahead and make this lens flare. So in order to see the lens flare in OpenGL, first I'm going to go over to D for display options and use OpenGL lens flares. Yep, I'm going to activate that. Then I'm going to hit P for properties, and let's turn on, for this light, let's turn on lens flare. I'm going to give it a color other than white. I'm going to give it kind of a yellow tint to it. But I want to dress up the lens flare just a bit. I'm going to turn off that central ring, and for the flare intensity, I'm going to drop that down to 0 for right now. Okay, because we're going to control that based off of an audio file, which will sync right up to our animation when we're using audio. So first, let's load up an audio file. So I'm going to go over to the scene editor, and I'm going to load audio, and I'm going to pick, I grabbed a couple machine gun WAV files. I'm going to use machine gun here. Okay, and it loads it up into the timeline. I loaded it up here first because I want to be able to see how long this is. Let's go 95 frame. It looks like it ends around frame 90. Okay, but it doesn't actually start. If I scrub through, I don't think you can hear on this recording just the way this recording software works, but there's some audio here. It's the clicking of the gun, like it's being like a clip is being brought in. But then at frame 40, you can see these high peaks in the audio. That's the actual rapid fire of the machine gun, and then it goes and trails off to nothing. Okay, so we're gonna use this to drive our animation. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this, and let's go over to flare intensity. I'm gonna go E for envelope. Okay, right now I've got it set to 0 all the way across. I'm going to move over to modifiers, and under add modifier I'm going to choose audio channel. Double click, and now we have a place to load an audio file. So I'm going to load that same audio file that I have in my timeline, and you can see that right here. So from 0 to 90, we got all kind of stuff. Now we got stuff going on in the beginning, and that's that noise of the clip being put in. It's a clicking noise. Okay, so we're gonna take care of that in a minute. But first, what I'm going to do is, well, if we want, we can turn filtering off, and we get much higher peaks, which I think is going to work best for us. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close this, and I like what's going on. I don't like what's here, and I want to get rid of these negative values in my graph editor. So I'm going to go over to keys, and I'm going to bake selected curves. Okay, so I've got it baked there. Then what I'm going to do is just right click and drag and grab all of these keys, go over to my curves tab, and for the value hit 0. Okay, so I want those to have 0 intensity, because remember, this curve is showing us the muzzle flash intensity, our flare intensity for our light. Then what I'm going to do is just grab these points on top, noticing that this is 0 value, and the highest it goes is about 45, and that's not going to be bright enough for me. I want to kind of make this a little more extreme. So I'm going to kick this up to, say, 145, and we'll see what happens there. But also, we remember that at around frame 40 is when we really start hearing the machine gun sound, like the actual firing. So I'm just going to get rid of some of these keys. Okay, and that'll work. So this is where our actual machine gun firing is going to take place. So I'm going to just size this up a little bit. I can close down my light properties panel. I'm going to leave this up just so we can see the keyframes. We can also see it baked here in the timeline. Then take the camera and move the light down so that we can just get a close-up shot of this. And as I move my time slider, I can hear the audio of the clicking, and then we've got the muzzle flash as I scrub through. Okay, and it's going to be timed to my audio. It's going to be timed to my audio here, ready to go. So that's a really quick way of setting up a muzzle flash for a gun based on existing audio that we can use, and it'll sync up perfect.